And now viewers to On Point One, because for decades Pakistan has claimed Pakistan occupied Kashmir, chose to be with Islamabad. But today that narrative is collapsing under the weight of its own actions. The people of PoK are not demanding favors anymore. They are demanding freedom from the very state that claims to represent them. As shortages of food and also aid worsen and security forces tighten their grip, Pakistan's occupation stands exposed before the world. And in a stunning new development, viewers, a leading voice from the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir has publicly appealed to India for humanitarian assistance. Sardar Aman Khan says there is a shortage of food, medicines and even basic essentials, blaming Pakistan's crackdown and economic blockade. When citizens under your control begin looking across the line of control for survival, it raises a very fundamental question: who has truly abandoned the people of PoK? Pakistan often lectures the world on democracy and human rights, yet in PoK, peaceful protesters are allegedly being met with bullets, arrests and intimidation. A civil rights movement has been labeled as a terrorist organization, and the message from Islamabad appears simple: anyone questioning Pakistan's control over PoK will face the might of the state instead of the rule of law. And the slogans echoing across Rawalakot and other towns are politically explosive. The slogans are: PoK is not part of Pakistan, we want freedom. These are not voices from across the border, they are voices from within PoK. And for years together, Islamabad projected PoK as a willing partner, and today the streets are telling a very different story. One that Pakistan can suppress with force but cannot silence forever. And to help us understand what's really happening in PoK, we have Dr. Amjad Ayub Mirza joining us live on this broadcast, joining us live all the way from London. A very good evening, sir. Dr. Amjad, how do you look at the protests in PoK? This is a clear vindication of what India has been saying all these years.
Thank you very much for having me on your channel. You see, the people of PoK were very clear from day one that Pakistan has illegally occupied this region, even Gilgit-Baltistan. However, the Pakistani military and the Pakistani religious clergy, the mullah class, had such a dominant role to play in this occupation that people were helpless. There were no jobs, there is no industry, there's no proper agricultural farming. So most of the youth migrated to Europe, Middle East, South Africa, Korea, and elsewhere in search of jobs and employment. So for a while, it seemed as if the people of PoK have accepted the status quo. But for the past 10 years, the atrocities against the local people of PoK have been on the increase. And gradually now, it has become intolerable. For instance, I give you one small example, that our electric power generation is based on hydro. So it's hydropower. Pakistan introduced a new tax on our electricity bills called fuel tax. Now we don't burn fuel. That Punjab burns fuel. So the burden of the Punjab electric system was being transferred quietly to PoK, and people protested against that. Then also because of the CPAC, China was building dams and they diverted the river Neelam, which is Kishan Ganga originally. And that diversion caused a lot of damage to the environment in and around the capital city of Muzaffarabad. And so that was also, Darya Bachao, Save the River campaign uh, had gained a lot of momentum. And now people have realized that whenever Pakistan wants to do a regime change inside the puppet government of PoK, they use the refugee seats, 12 refugee seats, which are based in different parts of Pakistan. They use those seats in order to do horse trading, and I mean, it's a 53 strong assembly, and 12 seats or 12 members are already in the pocket of the Pakistan military. So how can you have pure, true democracy.
And Dr.
So the
Mirza, you know
demand
what
is
is
that
very
these seats
shocking?
should be abolished.
You know what is very shocking, Dr. Mirza? Despite all of this proof that Pakistan's army is responsible for the domestic turmoil, there is still, journalists from Pakistan blaming India for it. And recently, a former envoy of Singapore also shut him down.